The Dow has been down for 8 straight weeks. We've not seen that, I think, since 1923. Obviously, a prolonged selling period. Whether it's over or not yet is another story entirely. Now, I'm not going to make that prediction. And a lot of the analysts on the show, they're not prepared to make the prediction either because it's a dangerous game. You say we're at the bottom and we're not, you've got a problem if that's your business. It's 9:30, it's Monday morning, and the market is now open. We expected it to open on the upside, and that's exactly what it has done. We're up 270 in the very early going. That's about 0.85%. And the vast majority of the Dow 30 stocks are indeed in the green. The S&P 500 is up 0.73%, modest gain there. And the NASDAQ composite also on the upside, not much, 0.39%. Earlier, big tech was all in the green, still the same point there, but they're not doing much. Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, Meta, now Alphabet's just slipped to the downside. Modest gains across the board. Now, show me Broadcom, please, because they're a chip maker. I know they're looking to diversify. They're trying to buy a... Susan's back.
Good morning.
The magic word. They're trying to buy a cloud company.
I call it a hybrid cloud company. So VMware, it was started by Michael Dell, and over at Dell, it was spun out last year in that tax-free deal. Now, Broadcom is an Apple supplier based in Singapore. We have no specifics on the offer price, but given that VMware is valued at $40 billion, and there's usually a premium in these type of takeover offers, that's pretty rich. Now, we know that Broadcom has been trying to buy something for the last few years, and that includes an offer to Qualcomm, which, of course, Qualcomm said no thank you. They also tried to buy the software company SAS. But look at the other chip stocks today, and they're down on this news, especially when the competition is ramping and they have money to spend and they're getting aggressive to get bigger. Also, global chip shortage has been great for these chip makers, a booming business, but the Philadelphia Semi-Chip Index down by 1/4 so far this year. Now, I do want to note also, if you were talking about maybe a short-term bottom that I heard you speak with Kevin Fitzgerald there, did you see that rally in the last 30 minutes of trade on Friday?
Yes,
on a
that's
Friday,
right at the very end.
Heading into a weekend as well. The fact that you can bounce back from 1.5% in a sell-off, I thought that was pretty incredible.
I was just looking at NVIDIA was on the screen there, all the way down. And Intel, look at Intel is at $41 a share.
Yes.
Lord.
And it's interesting that Pat Gelsinger used to be the head of VMware before taking over the Intel job.
That's right.
It's a small circle.
Okay. Show me Pfizer, please. They've got an update on the effectiveness of their COVID vaccine.
I think it's pretty much been priced in. We heard about this on Friday, so I would look at BioNTech as well. We know that the third dose was approved this morning for kids and strong immune response, and they tolerated it well.
Have you any idea what kind of demand there will be for this vaccine for children under 5 from Pfizer?
Well,
how many people are going to... you can't really answer the question, I suppose, but...
I just saw the statistics in terms of how many kids in this country have been estimated by the CDC to have already gotten COVID, and it's a pretty high number, at around 75, 3/4, I think, of children under the age of 15 have already gotten COVID. So do they need a third dose, and how many of these sales?
On the show on Friday, I was saying, everybody I know's had COVID. And then Ashley Webster chimes in and says, I've not. So almost everybody I know has got it. Yes, he's Florida. All right, let's get to Tesla, please. Where are they this morning? They're down at 652. What about the Shanghai factory?
Yeah, well, it's a little bit late by a day, and I guess that counts in the world of Tesla when everything's so precise. But they said that in a company memo, they're going to get to pre-Shanghai lockdown production on Tuesday. Now, Tesla, that's a day late because they said that they would get things back up and ramping and running as they were before the COVID lockdowns. So we're, 650? This is the lowest start to a session for Tesla stock since August last year, 650 right now. So that's $600 billion market cap now for the company. Now, and Shanghai has been, by the way, the reason why Tesla has run up to $1 trillion in valuation. They produce around 16,000 cars each and every week.
I noticed the high for Tesla was $1,243, and this morning it's at $640.
So let's extrapolate. If they produce 16,000 cars a week, estimates out there say that they have lost 50,000 cars as a result of that multi-week shutdown in China. And it's not just cars that they sell in China, but they export that over across the rest of the world to Europe, especially as Giga Berlin is still not ready to ramp up to full production yet.
Amazing. 640 for Tesla.
And what did you think of the news that Hyundai's building that electric car company or that car factory in Georgia? 8,100 jobs. That's a $5 billion investment. Rivian also has a big plant in Georgia as well with 7,000 jobs. Georgia's doing something right.
The EV capital of America. Pretty good, I'd say.
They're doing something well.
JPMORGAN is hosting their first investor conference in a couple of years.
Yeah, 2 years.
What's that all about?
So optimistic here. I was really looking at those numbers, and they reaffirmed their targets for 17% return on equity. That's important for a bank. That's usually the most important metric, meaning how much do you get back for every dollar that you have in the bank and that you loan out. Also, looking at the NIMs, that's the net interest margins, right? That means how much do you make on loans, and they actually upped it to $56 billion, which is, especially in a concerning growth environment where we're looking at a slowdown, possible hit to the consumer and rising interest rates. That's pretty impressive.
What do they do at an investor conference? Inviting all these experts and
they tell you what they want to buy as well. But I really wanted to talk about electronic arts and really some of the video game possible takeovers that we're seeing. So EA, apparently, according to Puck News, EA is looking for a buyer. They're looking for Disney, Apple, Amazon, especially after that Activision $68 billion takeover from Microsoft.
Because Microsoft's doing Activision Blizzard. Electronic Arts might want a buyer.
And Take-Two and Zynga confirmed today that they finished their deal.
All right, that's where the action is this month. That's good stuff. All right, thanks, Susan. Look at the Dow winners headed by JPMORGAN, up 3%. The S&P 500 winners headed there by Electronic Arts. You just mentioned them.
Yep.
And we have the NASDAQ winners headed this morning by Electronic Arts. There you go. So Electronic Arts is making a lot of news this morning, isn't it?
Thank God we got that in.
Yeah, thank God we got it in. Now, we're 6 minutes into the trading session, and the Dow is up 300 points. The 10-year Treasury yield, 2.81% this morning. That's encouraging for big tech because that level there, the yield level, is kind of low. $18.60 per ounce for gold. Bitcoin struggling to maintain $30,000 per coin, only just there. Oil, I believe, is going up this morning. Yes, it is, $110 per barrel. Nat gas, not that much change, but it's still above $8 per million British thermal units. Now, the price of regular gasoline, another new high. You're at $4.59 right now. And look at California. The average for regular at a California gas station is $6.07.